Hello and welcome to another episode of The Way I See It. I thank you for subscribing and clicking like or leaving comments. That always makes me feel good, and I will respond to those comments. And, well, if they warrant a response. If it's just something like, great job, Rachel, I mean, I may not respond to that. But if you pose a question, I will definitely respond to that. And please share these videos with friends or family and tell them that I'm your friend and you like what I'm doing, and ask them to subscribe as well. The next thing I want to talk about, and I'm wearing the same hat. I mean, I just finished the other video and now I'm about to do this video, even though they're going to come out a few days apart. This just kind of came to me today, and it's really about, it's probably not going to take very long, because it's kind of about history and where we are in history, and the fact that it's this long arc with no beginning and no end, theoretically. But I'm going to get into that a little bit too. There's a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." Right now in the world today, I feel like people don't realize this. They forget this quote. They forget the truth of it, the importance of it. And I don't know if this has always been this way with people, or if it has a lot to do with the dawn of social media and the internet and having, the magic rectangle in our hands and we can always see what's going on right now. But I feel like people tend to look at things in the world today and forget that it's part of something that's been going on for centuries and millennia, and will continue for centuries or millennia after we're gone. Now, you may say, well, don't you believe in God? Don't you believe God created everything? I do. Now, I'm not sure if he created everything in 7 literal days or if it's taken billions and billions of years. I think most people can agree that Genesis 1 is a poem. It's not necessarily a literal description of how God created the earth. I don't think you have to believe in evolution, even if you believe in the Big Bang. Even if you believe this earth is billions of years old, that doesn't mean you don't believe in Genesis 1 as well. I tend to believe both. I'm not sure how old the earth is. I'm sure scientists are constantly, adjusting how old they think the earth is and the universe is based on things they find and discover. But I'm like, if it's as Christians, we believe God is eternal and we're going to spend in some sort of indeterminate amount of time with him one day, that's a mind-blowing concept. But it's like, if that exists, if that idea exists, then obviously, yeah, the earth could be 7 billion, 14 billion, I don't know how many billion years old. Maybe it's the universe is 14 billion and the earth is 7. I can't remember. Once you get beyond a certain number in your mind, it just becomes this amorphous blob. It's like this concept you can't really define. Like, you can look at 7 pieces of candy and definitely count that there's 7. If you look at 7,000 pieces, it starts to get like, that's just a bunch of candy, right? Like, I could sit here and take the time to count all that candy, but it's not worth it. And then once you get to 7 million or beyond, it's a concept. You don't really understand it. So, same thing with the age of the earth. It's really, really old. Now, I believe, this is kind of just I've just kind of thought about this, like, that from Abraham to Jesus in history, from the time God made this covenant with him, is about 3,000 years, maybe a little less. So from Jesus till the time Jesus comes back, maybe, like, it may be like this from Abraham up to Jesus, and then from Jesus till when he comes back, maybe about that long too, which means we're 2/3 of the way there. We still got lots of time to go, and I won't be here in the body when Jesus comes back, but I'll be with him in the clouds, and I'll get a new body, and I'll live on the new earth and enjoy the new creation with him. But that's just speculation, because Jesus said nobody knows when he's going to come back. So don't anybody think I'm preaching some sort of false doctrine or some sort of crazy conspiracy theory about when Jesus is just going to come back. I mean, it just kind of came to me a few months ago. I was like, hey, could be like this. It could be like this pinnacle where Jesus is in the middle, and from Abraham to Jesus could be the same distances from when Jesus came to when, the fulfillment is going to happen with his return. That's just an aside. The point is, a lot of things have happened in history to get us to where we are right now. And where we are right now where I am in Georgia is not the same as where we are right now in California. It's not the same as where we are right now in Canada or Mexico or across the world in China. Everybody's in a different place right now at this moment in time. Everybody's having different experiences. Everybody's seeing the world in different ways. The point is, there is no one moment in time that anyone can pin anything to. This kind of came to me today while I was talking to my friends online. I feel like right now everybody's looking at history as if to say we're in a great place or we're in a horrible place. And the point is, this is not the beginning of anything, and this is not the end of anything. Everything is constantly coming out of something that happened before. And it's going to spawn something else. Everything is going to spawn more things and more things and more things. So, for example, I was listening to this podcast episode, and he was talking about the SBC statement in 1995, how they were apologizing for their role in slavery when they were established 150 years before that. And they had this black SBC pastor get up on stage and accept their apology on behalf of all black people. And he was like, yeah, but the problem is that moment should have been the beginning of, they treated it like it was the end, and it should have been the beginning. And I'm like, you know what? It wasn't the end or the beginning. It was just a thing. It was just a recognition of something in history and where they are at that moment and what they believe is right at that moment. And it also was simultaneously the beginning of other things. It's not like they just closed that book and said, okay, we're done. We made that statement. It's never the end. Nothing is ever final. Civil rights did not begin in the 60s. That was the result of decades of work before that by other civil rights leaders, many of whom we may or may not have learned about in history class, which was itself coming out of emancipation and Reconstruction and all that stuff in the mid-1800s, which was itself the result of the Civil War, which was years, decades in the making. All the things that caused the Civil War to happen were brewing for decades before that. And you had abolition work going back to the Revolutionary War period. So no, where we are right now is just every moment is just that. It's just a moment on a spectrum, on a large spectrum. So don't lament where we are right now as if like we've gotten to this point in history and now it's going to stop and we're going to be stuck here. Everything is better now. Most things are better now. Here in America, I mean, Oprah was talking about the, white supremacy and this caste system that black people are stuck in this country. And I'm like, first of all, Oprah, you wouldn't be where you are 150 years ago. So the fact that you're where you are now is because of this arc, which is moving in the right direction for most everybody in this country. Some people are in better position than other people, and most people are in better positions now than they were, and I hope that continues. But the point is, it's always moving, it's always changing. The only thing you can do as a Christian or as a non-Christian is your part. Live your life. Love the people around you. Proclaim what you believe to be the truth. And just let the chips fall where they may, because we're all going to die, and other people are going to come and live. You can talk about doing the best you can. You can talk about what needs to be done, but that's really all you can do is the best you can. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.